All right, thanks, guys. The Devils take on the Capitals, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in the nation's capital. Washington's minus 320, totals at 6.5. We did see a 10-cent move toward Washington. Not a whole lot of movement on this total as of yet. The Caps open 310 up to minus 320, total 6.5. 56% of the consensus are leaning toward Washington, 57% shaded toward the over. Right now, New Jersey is plus 260 on the money line. Washington minus a $1.35 on the puck line. Samsonov for the Capitals, Domingue for the Devils. Washington is 14-5-4 on their home ice. They also rank in the top 5 in scoring. New Jersey on the other side, bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 3 in goals allowed. Now, 5 out of New Jersey's last 6 games did get over the number. Meanwhile, Washington 15-8 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Washington minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's NHL action, but before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. I got a lot of good news for you. We are currently 6-0 in our last 6 daily best plays on that website. And that package costs just $1.99 per month. There's a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to as well. But once again, 6-0 in our last 6 daily best plays. Link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and get into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Flames taking on the Maple Leafs, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Toronto. The Leafs are minus 160, total 6.5. We did see a 10-cent fade of Toronto in the early betting. The Leafs open $1.70 down to 160, total 6.5. 69% leaning Toronto, 78% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Flames are plus 140 on the money line. Toronto plus a $1.60 on the puck line. We have Anderson for the Leafs, Riddick for the Flames. Calgary's 5-1 straight up in their last 6. They rank in the top 10 in goals allowed on the road. Toronto, on the other side, losers of 3 out of their last 4. They're also just 9-14 against the spread at home. Of course, when I refer to the spread in the NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 80% of the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean Calgary plus a $1.40 in the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock, Columbus. The Hurricanes are $1.35 on the road, totals 5.5. We did see a 10-cent move toward Carolina. They open a $1.25 up to minus 135. Total opening remains at 5.5. 59% are leaning Canes, 72% on the over. Right now, Columbus is plus a $1.15 at home. Carolina plus 185, laying the goal and a half. We have Mrazek for the Canes, Merzlikins for the Blue Jackets. Columbus is 6-2 in their last 8. They rank in the top 3 in goals allowed at home. Meanwhile, Carolina on the other side, just 10-13 against the spread when traveling. They've lost 3 out of their last 6 games themselves. Now, 4 out of Carolina's last 5 games did stay under the total. Give me Columbus plus a $1.15 and the under 5.5 in that contest. Next matchup, Kings, Panthers, 7 o'clock, Florida. The Panthers open a $1.75 up to 180. Total open 6 up to 6.5. 73% on Florida, 58% on the over. Kings are plus a $1.60. We have Campbell for the Kings, Dreiger for the Florida Panthers. Now, Florida's 6-3 in their last 9. They're first in scoring. The Kings on the other side just 7-15-4 when traveling. They rank in the bottom 3 in offensive scoring themselves. Now, total-wise, Florida's 19-6 to the over on their home ice. Give me the Panthers minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Rangers, Islanders, 7 o'clock, New York. The Islanders open a $1.70 down to 160. Totals at 6 flat. 61% on the Islanders, 76% on the over. Right now the Rangers are plus 135 on the money line. We have Georgiev for the Rangers, Varlamov for the Islanders. Varlamov and the Islanders are just 10 and 13 against the spread at home. Bottom 5 in offensive shots. The Rangers on the other side, pretty good against the puck line when traveling. 14 and 8 against the spread when traveling. Top 10 in scoring. The Islanders 28 and 17 to the under on the year. Give me the Rangers plus 1.5 and the under 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Canadiens Flyers 7 o'clock South Philly. The Flyers open $1.45 down to 135. Total open 5.5 up to 6. 71% leaning Flyers, 85% on the over. Right now the Canadiens are plus $1.15 on the money line. Philly plus $1.80 on the puck line. Lion for the Flyers. Price for Montreal. Philadelphia is 15-3-4 at home. Top 3 in goals allowed at home as well. Meanwhile, Montreal losers of 8 out of their last 10. They rank in the bottom 5 in shots allowed on the road. 6 out of Philly's last 8 games did get over the total. Give me the Flyers minus 135 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Penguins taking on the Bruins. 7 o'clock Boston. The Bruins open $1.35 down to $1.25. Totals at 6. 58% leaning Bruins, 83% on the over. Right now Pittsburgh's plus 105 on the money line. Jerry for the Pens, Halak for the Bruins. Boston's just 3-5 in their last 8. Bottom 10 in offensive shots at home. Pittsburgh on the other side, winners of 8 out of their last 10. They rank in the top 10 in scoring. Pittsburgh's also 4-0 to the over in their last 4. Give me the Penguins plus 105 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next matchup, Vegas, Ottawa, 7:30 puck drop. The Knights open $1.80 up to 190. Totals at 6. 72% on Vegas, 79% on the over. The Senators are plus 165. Anderson for the Senators, Fleury for the Golden Knights. Ottawa's 11-7-4 at home, 13-9 against the spread in those home games. Meanwhile, the Golden Knights on a 4-game losing streak, 9-13 against the spread when traveling. 5 out of Vegas's last 7 did get over the number. Meanwhile, Ottawa 5-3 to the over in their last 8. Give me the Senators plus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Lightning, Wild, 8 o'clock Minnesota. Lightning open $1.60 down to 150. Total 6.5. 69% on Tampa Bay, 77% on the over. Minnesota's plus 130 on the money line. Staylock for the Wild. McElhaney for the Lightning. Minnesota's 11-5-4 at home. Tampa Bay 8-14 against the spread when traveling. Tampa Bay is also 13-9 to the under when traveling as well. Give me Minnesota plus 1.5 and the under 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Ducks, Preds, 8 o'clock Nashville. The Predators open $2 up to minus 210. Total open 6 down to 5.5. 75% on the Preds, 69% on the under. The Ducks are plus 175 on the money line. Nashville plus $1.20 on the puck line. Saros for the Preds, Gibson for the Ducks. Nashville top 10 in scoring, top 3 in offensive shots. The Ducks on the other side, losers of 7 out of their last 8. They're also just 6-15-2 when traveling. Total-wise, Anaheim's 13-10 to the over on the road. Nashville 28-17 to the over for the year. Give me the Predators minus 1.5 and the over 5.5 in that contest. Next game, Sabres, Stars, 8:30 Dallas. The Stars open $2 up to 210. Totals 5.5. 69% on Dallas, 68% on the over. Right now, Buffalo's plus 175 on the money line. Dallas plus $1.30 on the puck line. We have Bishop for the Stars, Ullmark for the Sabres. Dallas is 15-6-2 at home, 7-1 straight up in their last 8 games. They're also first in goals allowed on their home ice. Buffalo 7-13-4 when traveling, bottom 10 in road scoring. Dallas 17-6 to the under on their home ice. Give me the Stars minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that contest. Sharks, Avalanche, 9 o'clock, Colorado. Avalanche open $2 up to 210. Total 6.5. 73% on Colorado, 70% on the over. San Jose's plus $1.75. Jones for the Sharks, Grubauer for the Avalanche. Colorado's top 5 in scoring, top 5 in home shots. Meanwhile, San Jose 8-12-3 when traveling, bottom 3 in offensive shots. Total-wise, the Avalanche 15-7 to the over on their home ice. Give me the Avalanche minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next and final matchup. Coyotes taking on the Canucks, 10 o'clock, Vancouver. Canucks open $1.30, down to 115. Once again, Vancouver open -130, down to -115. Totals 5.5. 66% on Arizona, 81% on the over. The Coyotes are -105 on the money line. Vancouver +215 on the puck line. We have Markstrom for the Canucks, Ranta for the Coyotes. Vancouver's ranking in the bottom 10 in shots allowed, bottom 10 in offensive shots at home. Meanwhile, Arizona 14-8-3 when traveling, 17-8 against the spread in those road games. They rank first in goals allowed away from home. Total-wise, Arizona 17-8 to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean Arizona -105, the under 5.5 goals in that game.